We're going to take a little deeper look into Bob's life and thinking, and we're going to hear from another grandson. This is Jonah Graff, son of Bobby.
How's it going, everybody? I'm really happy that I was able to read the testimony, or else I think I would have been an emotional wreck. This is such a joyful story, and the most important story in Bob's life, and that's how he met Jesus. I'm going to read it just the way he and Laverne wrote it. I thought I was a Christian because my father was a preacher, and I went to church all the time. My parents were wonderful, but because of the style of the church, they did not stress a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. When I returned home from the Korean War, where I proudly served my country, I was very happy to be home and be a civilian once again. I started back to work, but because I was the low man on the totem pole, I was given the Sunday shift. One day, a longtime friend of mine, Bob Knuth, asked me if I was attending church. I told him that I couldn't because I was working on Sundays. He was concerned for me and told me about a church, First Baptist, that offered Sunday evening services. He said we could go together. My friend was interested in my spiritual knowledge, but he was also interested in a girl that went to the church there. His friend had a friend that he wanted to introduce me to. And I want to pause here and thank Bob Knuth. He's back here, and he dragged Grandpa Bob to church, and from stories I've heard, it wasn't easy, and he always had an excuse, but early on, you brought him to church, and you got him there, and we have two things to thank you for. First of all, that you helped in getting him where he is today, which is heaven, and you also introduced him to Laverne, my grandma, and a lot of us wouldn't be here if that didn't happen, so we thank you so much. Anyway, to continue, I met Laverne. The first thing that pleased her most was attending church with her, so that's what I did. After several months of great Bible teaching, I understood that I had to make a personal decision to accept and follow Jesus Christ. I continued to go to First Baptist, where I was baptized, and then later married Laverne. I often joke that I married her about 10 feet from where I met her. Romans 8 was very meaningful to me in my understanding of what Christ had done for me. I'm grateful to the Lord for a long and happy life, and always having the assurance of spending eternity with him. I think it's such a signature characteristic of God to make so many good things come out of hard things. One of those is being able to see so many faces I haven't seen in a long time. And another thing is we're able to hear so much about Grandpa Bob that I hadn't heard before, and learn more about him. A lot of what Robert just walked through was incredible, and it was things about him that I didn't know. And here are a few of the things that I thought about, that I learned about Grandpa Bob. So many things that he did. He was a motorcycle rider. He was a sailor. He was a hunter. He was a fisherman. He was a card player. He was a dessert lover with one ice cube in his milk. He was a storyteller. He was a motorhome enthusiast. He was the loudest fan, especially at my mom, Bobby's track meet, so I hear. He was a soldier. He was a brother. He was a loyal friend. He was a proud grandfather. He was a proud great-grandfather. He was a caring husband. And he was a loving dad. And I love that we all know Grandpa Bob in a different way, and have seen different aspects of him, but he was always the same man. And everywhere he went, he was a follower of Jesus and an awesome example. So we love you, Bob.
Thanks, Jonah. So many words we could be saying about Bob, but if a picture is worth 1,000 words, then we're going to give you several thousand words now in a brief picture show.